You see that fellow pestering you in your DMs, that fellow making you feel like you're the most beautiful girl on earth, that fellow that is making you dream in your DMs. Today, I'm going to share with you some of the ways for you to know if he's actually after you for the right reasons or if he's just after you to blow your back out. All right, that is just for sex. I'm going to share with you some of the ways you can use to detect if he's only after you for the wrong reasons. When a man is after you for the wrong reasons, number one, when you have been talking to a guy for the past 3, 6, 8 months to a year, and all you ever talk about with that guy is sex, what he's thinking of doing to you, your physical attributes and all that stuff, things like your sultry lips. Every day he's talking about your shoulders. Every day he's talking about how, when I imagine what I can do with your toes, things like that. When a man doesn't talk about credible things with you, like how was your day, where do you see yourself in the next 2 years, what are your plans for your life, how's your family and all that stuff, that guy is only after you for sex. He is only after you for sex, because a man that wants more with you wants to talk about you, wants to talk about your daily life activities, wants to talk about your future plans and all that stuff, just to see where your mind is at. But when a man is all about sex, like I said, all he's going to talk about is your physical attributes, baby, the things I want to do to you. And even when you try to divert the conversation to something else, he's always going to derail and bring back the conversation to sex. You will never talk about anything else but sex, all right? Until a point, it's going to start becoming very frustrating for you, the lady. When you can sense that, if you ever question yourself that why does this guy always talk about sex and nothing else, just know that. Stop deceiving yourself. Just know that guy is only after you for sex. Number two, when a man is only after you for sex, you're never going to go for a date past your first encounter date, all right? That first time he took you dining and everything, he only did that because he's trying to sell himself. Basically, he's selling himself to you, and he knows that if he doesn't do that, there's a very low chance of you giving him what he wants, all right? That is blowing your back out. There's a very low chance. So that dinner date, some of them they're not even happy with that date. They're just taking you because they are hoping they're going to get something out of it later on, all right? So you're never going to go past one dinner date, because the reason why they avoid dinner dates is because, like I said, they try to avoid deep conversations to the max. It's all about, yes, this first date, the max they're going to ask you is your name and what you do, maybe where you come from, and the next thing they want is just to blow your back out. And if you don't want to do that, just observe their body language on that first date. When you start talking about, so where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? So what are your plans for life? So what do you do? What do you like? What are your activities? You like going to the gym? You will see him all of a sudden, he's going to become restless. He's going to be, grumpy, just out of place on his phone, just fidgety and all that stuff. When you see a man reacting like that, that means he's only after you for sex. If you find yourself at that dining table, when you want to talk about something else, you see him yawning or you see him looking at his phone, it's just because he's not interested in any deep conversations with you. He just wants to come and blow your back out and get the fuck out. That's all he cares about. When you see a man yawning, when you're talking about your life, when you're talking about your daily life activities and he's yawning or he's on his phone, he's acting bored, that guy, all he wants to do is blow your back out. He's just there for servicing, and that is it. In short, everything that you're telling him at that moment, he's not going to remember it. That's why he's restless like that. All he sees is just how he's going to fumble with your lips. That's all he's seeing at that moment. He's not interested in your grandmother's history, your grandparents' history. He doesn't care. Number 3, when a man only hits you up on Friday evenings and Saturday evenings. Throughout the week, he might message you and there, hey. It's always going to be hey. He's going to stop at how are you when you answer finish. You know why he's doing that? Because he's keeping tabs on you. He doesn't want you to get lost. He doesn't want you to get distracted by somebody else, because the more you don't reach out, the more the guy is going to forget you. So he's only saying those hey to you. He's keeping tabs on you so that he doesn't lose you, all right? And he has several that he's doing that with. So you're only going to hear from him. He's going to hit you up on Friday night after work. So are we hitting the bar tonight or the club tonight or what? Then at that moment, he's going to start talking you again, telling you how you're so beautiful. Like I said, talking about your physical features and everything. That's just to simulate those excitement, sex hormones in you. And like I said, the only places that he'll take you to is to bars and clubs. And do you know why he's taking you there? Because anything that has to do with bar, the next thing is sex. Because the more you drink as a lady, the more you'll be vulnerable to opening up sexually. And most times you're going to act like a protector. At the end of the club, you're going to rely on him to take you home after the club. So you being in his car and everything, you already being on the influence of alcohol, he can start luring you into kissing. And from kissing to fingers going places. From there now you find yourself having sex with him. Sometimes even in the most demeaning ways, from his car to his house. Then sometimes even outside, he's going to use you anyhow and just take you home and dump you there and go. So when you see a man only reaching out to you on Friday evenings and Saturday evenings, my dear, that man is only after you for sex. You will never see a man that only wants sex from you, taking you out to places like parks, taking you out to like museums, taking you out to like public places, just walking around and just, getting to know each other. No, he will never do that. And another thing is this. You will need to pay attention to the previous things that I mentioned to you to make sure that you don't get to this point. This particular thing that I'm going to talk about, it's something that is very demeaning to women, and it's something that can be very traumatizing emotionally to a woman. This particular point is, I'm going to talk about when you finally get to the stage of getting physical with that person. Because while you guys were maybe courting throughout those 3 months, talking, exchanging throughout those 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, you guys might have seen each other maybe like 3 times a month. And it was always in, let's say, social gatherings, like I said, clubs, nightclubs and everything. So you've never been in a personal space, you've never been in 4 walls together. Then let's say finally you get to agree to finally be in 4 walls with him. Maybe you guys get to book a hotel room or something, agree to go on the weekend together. Maybe on the long weekend you agree to spend the long weekend with him. That's a whole 4 days that you guys agree to spend with each other. Now, prior to you guys having sex, the guy will be so happy and everything. At that moment, his hormones are all over the place. So he's going to be gingering you. He's going to be telling you all the sweet things that he can tell you until he gets into your pants. But when you finally give in now, some of them, it's as soon as you're even done having sex. Some of them, as soon as you're done having sex, the next minute, either they start sleeping. They don't even know that, okay, even if you never liked the woman at the end of the day, even if you never liked her sex and all that stuff, the least you can do, just out of respect, just for her own dignity, hold her for the night and sleep with her in your arms. Even if you know that the next day you're going to cut the weekend short, the least you can do is hold her into your arms. When you finally have sex with a man and you see him just sleep right after, or maybe let's say he sleeps and you say to yourself that, okay, we had a long day, maybe he's tired, and you let him sleep, you're being considerate. But the next day he wakes up, the first thing that he does is, that's when he remembers that Man U and Chelsea are playing. As soon as he wakes up, he does not even talk to you. You wake up, you see him on his soccer game, watching his soccer game and everything, and when you try to get playful with him, he gets angry, he gets irritated. And when you voice it out to him that, you're being funny, you're not the same and everything, you tell that, you now, leave me now, you too. You like to complain, what have I done? You were sleeping now, it's now that you're waking up, what have I done? When you see a man doing that, it's very hard on most women, but when you see a man doing that, whatever plans you have for the weekend, just cut everything short and leave that place, because that man has no respect for you. He has no respect for you. Or sometimes when he does that, and later on, maybe after that weekend together, after spending that time together, he doesn't reach out to you anymore. He no longer reaches out to you. The next time you get to actually come in contact with him, is you that actually reaches out to him. Because us women, when we have been sexually physical with somebody, we want to see that person give us attention. Even if the person didn't like us, at least we want to see you give us that attention. But when you see that man just ghosting you, and it's you that have to reach out to him maybe like 2 weeks after, out of nowhere, just because you're feeling like shit, and when you reach out to him, he expects you to be all gullible and everything, then I know I'm not being gullible. I actually need to call you out on this. I didn't like the way you treated me last time and everything. I didn't like the way you dismissed me when I tried to voice it out to you and everything. And the next thing you know, this guy, instead of him even telling you, say, it's not like that now. I'm very sorry I made you feel that way. It's not like that. I think you're taking it too personal. I'm very sorry. Maybe you took it that way, but that wasn't the case. I just wanted to watch my soccer. I already had it in plan. Sorry if I didn't tell you. Even if he's just bullshitting you, at least you should be considerate of your emotions. But if you're voicing out your frustrations to him and all he has to say is, let's say maybe you tell him, you know what, don't call me anymore, don't reach out to me anymore. All he tells you is this: I respect your choice, I respect your decision. Man, there is nothing more degrading than that. There is nothing more degrading than that. When a man does that to you, you know that, okay, you understand that, okay, your relationship was all about booty call and is what it is. And when that happens to you, what you need to do is not just to cry. Cry, learn from that lesson, and next time, check out those previous points that I mentioned. Any man that you meet that only talks about sex, your physical attributes, and nothing else, run. The only places he takes you to is clubs and bars. Run. Any man that never takes you to parks, public places other than those wayward places, run. Okay? Run. You have to learn from that experience, and for your future experiences, learn from that and apply them to the next ones, so that you don't get to that stage again, because you only want to go through that once in your life. You don't want to go through that a couple of times, because like I said, some men are not worth it, and some men can be very, very, very cold and mannerless. They don't see anything wrong with what they have done. Some of them even, you will tell them that, after they'll tell you to respect that decision, Do not even sit down and try to even see, I really hurt this girl, I need to go back and apologize. They won't care. That's why as a woman, before you give yourself to a man, make sure you check out all those points that I mentioned. All right, it's very easy to see. It's just that sometimes us women will choose to blind ourselves and we just choose to just go with the flow and just ignore all the red flags. All the red flags are there in front of you. All the red flags. Any man that avoids deep conversations with you, trust me, that man is just there for sex. And if you know you're not just there for sex, let it go. Don't say, let me just go with the flow. He might end up loving me later on. No, let it go and don't ever entertain him again. When a man does that to you, that's the most degrading thing. It's very painful, but you're going to have to learn from that and watch out for those signs that I told you so that you don't get caught in that kind of thing in the future. So those are some of the signs. That is how you get to know if that man in your DM is only after you for sex.